the dean of students at Francis W. Parker School.
Uh-huh.
I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in.
Okay, I'm evaluating this like bit by bit. Okay.
They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students at the prestigious Francis W. Parker Private.
That's it? That's sex ed. Okay. I guess, are the kids' minds being harmed because they saw a dildo being used for the condom demonstration instead of a banana? No school would teach that to minors. Look, whether or not Project Veritas is being forthcoming, the actual, like, underlying logic to this, the thing they're actually objecting to is the concept of, like, anal sex. It's either anal sex being a part of sex education, which it should be, or queer sex being a part of sex education, which it should be. If there's specific, I guess I want to hear what the specific issue is. Here, let's wait for a sec, okay?
School in Chicago, which happens to charge $40,000 per student.
They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them. They're like, how does this butt plug work? How do we do, like, how does this work? That's a really, like, cool part of my job.
Wow. I mean, they teach them about lube. They teach them about...
I noticed how the cool part of my job part was cut away from the rest of it. So that by being put adjacent to the kids were smacking the dildos against the desks and making loud slapping noises. You know, that's the cool part of my job. Watching 13-year-olds take dildos and smack them loudly against the wooden desks. Okay, so what are the issues? I want to hear the arguments.
Wow. I mean, they teach them about lube. They teach them about...
Okay, that's good. That's like a sex education thing, right? That seems good.
Spit.
Yeah, I have that in my mouth.
Joseph Bruno goes on to talk about how the kids pass around dildos and butt plugs. I kid you not. In this clip.
Okay. Is the line here just like having a dildo there instead of like a banana? Because like in my sex ed, they showed like anatomical diagrams of a penis on the screen, and then there was a banana. Would I have been, was that like fine, but I would have been groomed if there was a silicone model of a penis there? The problem is that like they don't like sex education at all, which means that it might seem as though they're freaking out about like the queer or butt plug or sex toy or whatever thing, but they don't like sex ed at all. Like even a regular sex ed course would to them be a moral panic thing. So I don't know like the underlying logic of what's upsetting them. I don't know. Like they can say like, the dildo was there. Okay, so remove the dildo, but you took an issue with them teaching about lube. Okay. You had a problem with them being taught about lube. It's a very basic sex education thing. You know, like from a German perspective, that's a regular sex ed class. The implication here that people like Ben are trying to throw forward is that like the act of providing sex education to kids in a classroom setting from professional educators is itself grooming, and they're focusing on the perceived like queer element as like the thing that they're latching onto as like the especially weird bit, but they take issue with all of it, at which point it becomes clear that their issue isn't with any one particular thing. It's literally just the concept of sex education. I don't know if they just want sex education to be like a very basic, when you put the dick in the vagina, you get pregnant thing, but that's not very good sex education. Like the point is to educate, like to give a broader understanding. Okay, just so people know, not only do we literally have studies on sex education reducing the likelihood of child sexual abuse, because one of the most vulnerable kids to CSA are kids who don't know shit, because that makes them easier to exploit. Knowledge makes you less easy to exploit in that respect. Leaving aside the fact that all the math we have, all the data we have, indicates that those kids are now less likely to be preyed upon by an adult. Like, a lot of people don't seem to understand what the point of sex education is. Sex is like a really complicated topic, and it's also something that dominates a lot of people's brains, especially when they're that age, 13, 14? You fucking kidding me? So it's not like you want to tell them that putting the dick in makes them pregnant. Okay, great. Like, I bet you pretty much all of them already know that. Probably not all of them, because this is a very weird country, but you know, probably most all of them. The idea is to like give them the knowledge they need to not make really stupid fucking decisions in the future, okay? That's the whole point. Because as teenagers, they are going to, of their own volition, with no outside interference, make incredibly stupid decisions when it comes to sex. I did. A lot of you guys did. Of course you did. Maybe Ben didn't, because Ben over here probably discovered masturbation accidentally when, like, a woman brushed past him on an airport escalator and he came in his pants. But normal people, you know, it's a subject that warrants some discussion, I think.
And this apparently is what kids must be taught at the age of 14. And by the way, it's not just radical sexual ideology, it's also radical gender ideology.
Oh.
In fact, if you just go to the Francis W. Parker School website right now, they have an upcoming event, January 23rd, starring the writer, speaker, and internet yeller, Ijeoma Oluo.
Oh, wait, yeah. The number of people, especially, I want to say especially young people, not even just young people, people in general. The number of people who think the pull-out method is like, okay, wait, fuck. I feel like I have a public service announcement to make really quick. Okay, really quickly, okay? Pre-cum, on its own, the lube that penises let out to make everything slippery, does not have sperm in it. But if you've come recently, there can still be sperm alive in your urethra that the pre-cum sweeps up, and therefore people can get pregnant from pre-cum. So functionally, pre-cum can absolutely get someone pregnant. You never want to risk it, okay? So just, it's not even like a, well, it's been 48 hours and it should be 36 hours since the sperm, don't even, okay? And the pull-out method is not good, okay? The pull-out method is not good, all right? Don't do that. It's not smart. Don't do it. It's not good. They make the condoms they make these days are way better than the condoms they used to make. Just find good condoms. Just go to your local Planned Parenthood and get a grab bag or something. Just fucking don't do the pull-out method, okay? It's really stupid.
You're going to have to show me why it's better for kids to teach them that all forms of sexual activity are morally equivalent and good. Why it is necessary to show 13, 14-year-old kids butt plugs and dildos, as this dean of students is talking about.
Well, it's sex education. Again, keep in mind, he would be fear-mongering over this, over any kind of sex education. So, like, for example, I remember in my sex education, I think this was when I was in 8th grade, the gym teacher was doing sex ed, which is, in my mind, educational malpractice. Gym teachers should be teaching gym. Sex ed should be handled by a nurse. I mean, something there. But he did a fine job, just generally speaking. But anyway, you get a little anatomical diagram of the cock and balls, and it's like, yeah, here are the balls, here's the cock, any questions? But what this necessarily leads into is like an hour of protracted question and answer, where like stupid teenagers run through every question on their mind, to get an answer from an adult, And I guarantee you that if you could like clip segments out of that sex ed lesson that I had and Project Veritas that shit where they just clip it together out of context, they would have called my staunchly conservative broom handle mustache wearing gym teacher a groomer. Just for like a fully normal sex ed lesson. 100%. My gym teacher when I was in middle school, okay, that motherfucker wasn't just a conservative, okay? This guy was like a fucking warrior for conservatism, okay? He looked like you fed conservative into an AI algorithm and generated a picture. This guy, this like vet, like muscled up 60-year-old with a big white broom handle mustache and a permanent scowl. You can see him in your head, yeah, can't you, when you close your eyes? This guy, basically, he's the kind of guy who would call students knuckleheads. Like, we were all goofing off in the sex ed class, and he'd be like, all right, knuckleheads, let's get back to the lesson. Proper what's the cartoon with the two dipshits? I'm forgetting. Beavis and Butthead. The Beavis and Butthead teacher, Did he do that calling people by their last name shit? Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, call people by their last name. Lollygagging, knucklehead. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, and he'd be up there at the front of the class, all right, now we're going to learn about this, and He'd have like the little stick out and he pointed this and that, whatever. He was a great teacher. I liked him, you know? But I guarantee you, like there would have been bits where like I think at one point a kid asked like what, like giggling. He's like, hey coach, what stops you from like peeing in her? You know? And the coach like rolled his eyes and he was like, well, when you're hard, da 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 da, you know, Peter. And I guarantee you, if you had clipped like 12 seconds out of that bit, you would have heard the teacher talking about not peeing in a vagina while fucking a chick. And Project Veritas would have been like, why do kids need to know about urinating inside vaginas? And like, again, the professor was just like giving an education. He took the job seriously. He tried to give them an understanding of why that wouldn't work, you know? But you understand what I'm trying to talk about, right? Or you understand the point that I'm trying to make, right? Like, the way this is being framed would impugn literally any sex education. It may seem like they're trying to hook onto the queer sex or butt plug thing, but they're not. The logic behind their condemnation would be used to attack literally any kind of like broad sex education. It's about control. Yeah, it is. 100%. Yeah, far be it from us to protect the innocence of 13-year-old middle school 8th graders who, like, again, at 13 years old, protecting their innocence. Jesus Christ. Stupid. Protect them from being fucking sexually abused by adults. One of the best ways that you can do that is by educating them. Makes it a lot harder to prey on them. Isn't that age group the main demo for Call of Duty? Yeah, all of those 13-year-olds then went back. Well, back when I was in 8th grade, I don't think Modern Warfare was out yet. No, it would have just come out, right? Yeah, they would. No, wait. It would have been 2 years before. No, sorry. So they would have gone back and played Halo. They would have gone back and played like Halo 2, I think, or something like that. Yeah, and they would have been on Xbox Live, like screaming into a mic. COD 4 was 2007. Okay, never mind. Then it might have been then. Or I think it would have been 1 year before. I think it was 2006 when I was in 8th grade. Look, the point I'm getting at is just understand the logic of the condemnation, okay? That's what I'm trying to hit on here. They don't want any kind of sex ed. They want kids to be vulnerable.